How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I'm going to take y'all on a journey. And I have 3 articles that I'm going to read, and they're not going to be in full. I have a number of videos to present to the royal family. And y'all see the title there. And basically what I'm pointing out to the royal family, how the Asian community, well, let's say the Asian business community in America, how they have been impacted by the coronavirus. Now, I want y'all to pay very, very, very close attention to language and even the things that I read. And I'm going to break it down. And the tone and the attitude that these people have. I mean, this is really deep. So, let me get my laptop here. And all these articles, y'all know, will be pinned if y'all want to read them in full. So, let's get into this first one. In this first one, it says, the title literally says, "You can't get coronavirus at a Chinese restaurant, so please start eating in Chinatown again." The coronavirus epidemic begun in Wuhan, China, at the end of December and has been concentrated mainly in China since then. At the beginning of this week, there were just 10 confirmed cases. And let me check that real quick. This is February 13th. All right. See, at the beginning of this week, there were just 10 confirmed cases in the United States. Nevertheless, it's starting to affect Chinese Americans too, in a different way since the epidemic. Eatery reports. Chinese restaurants across the country, especially those in Chinatown, in major cities from Seattle to Houston to Boston, have reported a drop in businesses between 50 and 80%. Ouch. So have restaurants in Chinatown in Sydney and London. Owners are worried about how they are going to pay their workers and stay open. Some of this is due to the increased restrictions in and out of China, which means that the usual bus loads of Chinese tourists haven't been coming to visit Chinatown in New York or San Francisco, usually popular destinations. International students who were expected to visit family over the Lunar New Year never materialized either. But a lot of it is, now check, okay, this is where it gets deep. But a lot of this is also due to America, fear, and xenophobia. After a rumor spread on WhatsApp that an employee at a San Francisco bakery had contracted the coronavirus, business dropped more than 50%, even though the information was false. There have been no reported cases in San Francisco. Now, to keep that in your mind, that what I'm reading was in February 13th. Community leaders have been trying to dispel misinformation about the coronavirus and to assure that it's safe to come to Chinatown and eat Chinese food. Chinese food for one thing. Coronavirus is a respiratory virus that spreads through personal contact, not through food. You know what I like about this? Going back just for a few weeks as this thing is developing. That's misinformation, because we know that it's caught airborne. You can get it through your eyes, you can get it through your nose, you can get it through your mouth. But the approach that the Chinese community is taking is quite foul as far as I'm concerned. So again, for one thing, coronavirus is a respiratory virus that spreads through personal contact, not through food. And unconfirmed rumors that the virus begun in a wet market in Wuhan. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there. And then down here it said, it does hurt the business a little bit, but the sad news is we expected that. You got a funky ass attitude. And then in here they said, this guy, Harry Chen, a restaurant owner in Seattle, told King 5 News he saw the same drop in businesses during the SARS outbreak in 2003. See, he's being very sarcastic. And so he's like, I expected this anyway. And then he said, negative news stories about China deflate businesses as a result. Your attitude ain't helping you at all. As we continue on, let me put up this next article. And I'm purposely leaving what I'm leaving there. Y'all know how I get down. I have a particular method to my madness. So let's pull up this next one. So, now this is in Vegas. And four of the Sunset Park's big dim sum parlors shut down due to sales and the impact of the coronavirus. Now, this article was March 10th, 2020. So this is very, very current. And I'm going to read this one portion of this. Several of the biggest and most popular dim sum restaurants and Cantonese buffet halls in Sunset Park have closed this week in light of novel coronavirus fears, some of the first major closures after weeks of declining sales due to xenophobia, associations between Chinese restaurants and the illness. Most of them are hoping to reopen, though it is not clear when that will be possible. Let me see here. Okay. Let me go on to the next one. Let me take that one down. Okay. Okay, now this is deep. I found you know how, when you're doing research and these, you do your Google research and just something pop up, and I found this online, I would call it an online, like a magazine. But anyhow, this is called the Palo Alto Online. So I would call this a local story. This gets deep. Nobody is, wait a minute, let me get the date. Okay, March 10th, 2020. Nobody is dining out. Palo Alto Chinese restaurants. Taste is on the brink of permanently shutting down. They not playing amidst coronavirus spread. Palo Alto made, let me go on the top here. Taste Senchas, that's the best I can pronounce it with these Chinese names, restaurant in downtown Palo Alto made less than $600 on Monday, with only 2 lunchtime diners and about 4 at dinner. Whoa. The 423 University Avenue restaurants dine and sales are down 80 to 90%. Ouch. Whoa. and deliberately dropped about 50% since last month, which owner Sandy Liu attributes to mounting fears about the coronavirus. With the incline, which have been intensifying since late January, she's struggling to make rent, pay her 10 employees, and cover other costs, to the point that she's on the verge of closing the restaurant for good. Basically, nobody is dining out for my restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, Liu said. Who can afford to keep losing money every day? Bitch, please. See the nastiness there, the undertone nastiness? Going out to eat anywhere, that is a choice. That's a choice. That's when you're splurging. See their attitudes? Oh, I'm loving this. Let me see here. Restaurants throughout the area are reporting slower businesses. Many due to companies canceling large reservations and private events, and are taking additional precautions to protect both diners and their other businesses. That's what they're supposed to do. Be proactive. The owner of the upscale Plum House in Saratoga took a perhaps unprecedented step this week to eliminate half of the restaurant dining room to allow for a minimum of 6 feet between tables. Food truck companies off the grid is moving all of its weekly markets, including in Menlo Park, to take out only. Wow. So they thinking in that restaurant, when we're going to take out some additional tables, and then people can be far apart and they not breathing on each other, and you're going to come in there and eat. Folks ain't going to come in your restaurant. Okay, what does it say here? Menlo Park announced on Instagram that it will be closing earlier in the evenings as we are trying to find the best way to survive the impact on our businesses from the current health situation. Chinese restaurants, including in San Francisco, Chinatown, have been hit particularly hard, according to the media reports. Excuse me. Despite elected officials' criticism of unwarranted fears that the Chinese community is linked to the coronavirus. You are alert to the coronavirus. How the hell you think you want to get some business back and then going to be shitty? People, this is at a pandemic state. People are fearful. Some of this is new to people. They don't even know what to do. They're making hasty decisions. The government is all over the place. And who is the leader in this country? Trump. As we continue on. Ooh, y'all nasty. Let's see here. Let me check. This is the juicy part right here, my royal family. Liu opened Taste, her first restaurant, in late 2017. Her father was a chef in China. She says she invested more than $500,000 to start the business. So they got bread. She didn't say she got a loan. She said she invested $500,000. She claiming that her father in China was a chef. Recently, she is already gripping with the economical pressures that make it difficult for many independent Bay Area restaurants to operate today, such as rising labor costs and expensive rent. And then she says here, you know what's getting me is these people say we whine too much. They ain't begin to experience what we have experienced. They can't even deal with a month, a day, a moment, a second, an hour, or whatever you want to call it. So she was saying here, recently she was already gripping with the economical pressures that make it difficult for many independent Bay Area restaurants to operate today, such as rising labor costs and expensive rent. A construction project near the restaurant also affected sales, she said. Catering and delivery orders despite third-party delivery apps. High commission rates, Lou said, help keep Taste afloat. But dine-in sales start to drop more significantly in January, when the coronavirus first started spreading in China, and catering and delivery eventually followed suit. Okay. Let me see what else is here. What else is she bitching about? So basically, she says here, the coronavirus underscores local restaurants' reliance, tongue twister, on technical companies for catering and other businesses, with a decline after many companies encourage employees to work from home. Yes, to limit travel. In San Francisco, restaurants. Okay, now this is not a Asian. This is a deli. Well, it could be Asian. Al's Deli closed this weekend, citing 100% cancellation from corporate orders over last week as a factor, a couple of slow weeks, and I think it's very uncertain what's going to happen to a lot of the small restaurants in the city. You know, Lisa was saying that it's going to start morphing into other restaurants. Initially, the Asian restaurants would be hit first. Yeah, logically that was going to happen. And let's see here. The long-term economical impact on restaurants and other businesses in the hospitality industry remains to be seen as a public health officials urge increasing restrictions, including social distancing and cancellations of large events throughout the Bay Area. In Palo Alto, where there have been no confirmed coronavirus cases to date, the city stated Monday that it is modifying or canceling more than 30 events to limit the spread of respiratory viruses and protect residents at the highest risk of catching the virus that caused COVID-19. Santa Clara County, which reported its first death due to the coronavirus this week, announced a mandatory ban on all of 1,000 people or more starting Wednesday, March 11. Okay, it's the 12th. They coming down with the gauntlet. So here, this woman whining again. I don't know what the government can do or the local community can do for us, Lou said. People are scared. Okay, let me skip that. Okay, as we enter the third month since the new break, many businesses, particularly those affected in these ethnic restaurants, are holding on for dear life. Damn. They do not have sufficient cash reserve to weather the storm, she said. Who the hell are you? The economical hardship on each business owner then trickles down to the labor force, as many places are letting go of their employees to cut costs. That's not on us. Again, when you're going out to eat, you choose to do that. You choose to splurge a little bit and all of that. We can eat at home. Sound like your attitude. I don't see these people attitude is coming forth because they can't make these coins, especially off of the royal family. So where am I on this article? Okay, check this out. Now here come the begging part. Now they are urging support for a loan assisted program that would give small businesses runway to adjust to the changes in the marketplace, even if it causes initially by misinformation and unwarranted stigma. You know what? You're shooting yourself in the foot. You go get you a small loan and this thing ain't even eradicated. You know, people are all over the place. They have to study this stuff, run series of tests, and the bare minimum they saying is about like 18 months so they can try to even figure it out. You know, you shit out of luck at the end of the day. So yeah, go get your little loan, go get your little assistance. You're going to be bankrupt at the end of the day. Ain't nobody showing up to your restaurants. So here it said the state employee developmental department is urging employers who are experiencing a slowdown in their businesses as a result of coronavirus to apply for a unemployment insurance work sharing program. All right, my royal family. Now we're going to get in these videos. So let's get into the first one. Just got 3. Okay. I'm going to have to refresh that one.
The outbreak began in China, and that has people staying away. The coronavirus is hurting businesses in central Illinois. The outbreak began in China, and that has people staying away from Chinatowns and Chinese restaurants. CNN reports sales are plummeting because people aren't choosing to eat or buy Chinese products for the fear they'll catch the virus. One neighbor says families shouldn't lose their business because of false information. He says people should do more research.
It is very small-minded for someone to believe that a restaurant who has a cuisine that is associated with a country on the other side of the planet would increase their chances of getting that virus.
The CDC says you can only get the virus from person-to-person contact, adding there's no evidence to support you can get the coronavirus from packaged foods. Some restaurants have signs on the windows ensuring customers that its surfaces are disinfected daily and their employees are clean.
All right. Attitude. These folks got funky ass attitudes, you know? So, now, they got this funky attitude, you know, because nobody want to go back into your restaurants. But check out what they are doing down in Vegas. Oh, it gets deeper, my royal family. It gets much deeper.
There's a lot of uncertainty around the coronavirus. A spokesperson with MGM Resorts said that's why they're taking this precaution and shutting down the buffets, at least for now. The spokesperson told me they don't know when they'll reopen. They're just taking it week by week.
People come here to eat for the buffets. They love the buffets.
I think of Cousin Eddie and getting that blue stuff put on it.
Whether it's your favorite movie scene or your favorite spot to eat, buffets are a part of Las Vegas history.
Seem to have the best food.
The buffets tend to turn me off because of the number of calories you're going to eat, because I can't resist a good buffet.
Starting Sunday, everyone will have to resist the buffets at the Aria, Bellagio, MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay, the Mirage, Luxor, and the Excalibur.
For the coronavirus?
Wow.
I think that's a little ridiculous.
It's a good idea.
We were really quite shocked by it, weren't we?
I feel bad for all the people that rely on that.
Thousands of people's livelihood relies on Las Vegas tourism. No word yet what workers at MGM Resorts will do once the buffets shut down. A spokesperson with the Culinary Union 226 told me they're meeting with the casinos to negotiate how to move forward. One option, finding other work within the casinos. Sources at MGM Grand told Fox 5 there will be short-term layoffs within MGM Grand because business has slowed down.
If it's everywhere, there's no kind of reason to kind of stop doing what you would normally do.
Coronavirus hasn't stopped this couple from doing what they normally do when they visit Las Vegas.
We've actually had the buffet every day. Really, really nice.
They've been here for 9 days and have more friends coming tomorrow.
One that we know comes specifically for the buffets, so they are literally freaking out at this point.
On top of closing its buffets, MGM Resorts said it has more hand sanitizer in high traffic areas and is disinfecting more often.
What Michael has noticed is there's a lot more men washing their hands in the toilets than there usually is.
Hey, I guess that's a plus side. More guys are washing their hands. Now, again, MGM Resorts said they don't know when the buffets will reopen. They're taking it week by week. We did reach out to other casinos. Caesars got back to us, and they told us their buffets will remain open. They told us they are just ramping up cleaning protocols. Reporting live, I'm Kyla Gaylor, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Now that is deep, my royal family. All them restaurants in Vegas. But I don't blame them. They're doing an overhaul. And I've been down there numerous times, and it is a lot of people. People all over the world come down there. This stuff is major. But then these little small Asian restaurants want to have a funky attitude, talking about it's a stigma. Well, when it started out, with the source, yeah, you wouldn't. Okay, if it was in Africa, would they be saying with them same people had that attitude? Oh no, they would be sitting up there high and mighty, talking about shut them all down. Yeah, them Africans got them nasty restaurants and everything. You're already known for being nasty, so this just solidified it even more. Now, listen to this last one. Pay attention to the tone and the language.
And not one single coronavirus case has ever been linked to any establishment or restaurant here in Chinatown, but restaurants and business leaders say less people are coming here. That's forcing layoffs, and a number of mom and pop shops and restaurants are on the verge of shutting down.
And they say we have the very best Chinese breakfast in town.
Taiwan Deli sits empty. On a typical day, Borman Young's Taiwanese restaurant would welcome hundreds of tourists and convention goers.
95% my business from the overseas, it's gone.
Her workers took pay cuts to keep the team on staff. She doesn't know how long she can stay open.
They call Chinatown. Everybody be heard. So far, I heard 7 restaurants for sale. That's a lot.
Chinese and Asian restaurants across the valley suffering a free fall of profits up to half or more from a lack of tourists and what they say are people shunning restaurants over fears of the coronavirus.
I think it's not fair. We are in America. We need you guys' support.
It does hurt, and the thing that we're trying to figure out right now is how do we communicate to all the people that, hey, we're okay. You know, not every Asian has the coronavirus.
The Las Vegas Asian Chamber of Commerce says though tourism is down and all sorts of establishments feel the pinch, in Chinatown and valley-wide, Asian restaurants in their survey have seen a 40% profit slump. On the Strip, a 50% drop or more. Most of them family-owned.
They would have to let some of their servers go home, some of them permanently.
But this hurt a lot. If we close, it impacts so many families.
Certainly the message tonight from business leaders and the local mom and pop restaurants. Patronize your local businesses. Coming up on Fox 5 News at 11, we'll tell you what the Asian Chamber of Commerce says they're doing to try to get help for these local businesses. For now, live in Chinatown, Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Now I want to point something out to you, my royal family, how this works. Now, there's a dual thing going on. Now, we ain't going to your restaurants that you have near us and stuff. But in this particular segment, this last one that I'm showing, and anybody that's in the Bay Area gonna know where I'm coming from too, that they take buses to like Reno, and they also take buses over to Vegas. And the Asian community have their own bus companies. And they'll take bus loads going, say they're going to Vegas. When they get to Vegas, they go to their hotels and their restaurants. So when you peek in them restaurants, it's full of their people. They patronize their businesses. So this is the duality. Their own are not going to their own restaurants in this particular situation up in Vegas. And you see the attitude? The attitude. What these folks don't understand, America will totally be different. I'm telling you, the vapors that showed up, and they gonna show out, and they gonna stick around. We gonna make you a true believer. So I'll leave it there, my royal family. Render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe. Ooh, these people is ungrateful. You talking about ungrateful. Be more to come.